wash it away. If I could see the flowing water, nighttime.
I need to get that box open. I'll have to pick the lock. Oh no, Helena! Addicted to drugs. What a waste. With all that privilege, I just don't get people. I suppose if she needed to support her habits, she might conspire with the illusionist. This definitely puts her back under the microscope. Maybe that's why she's conspiring with Mephistopheles, to get drugs or money to buy them. Damn it. Maybe that's why she's conspiring with Mephistopheles, to get drugs or money to buy them. Damn it.
Oh, my. Oh, you about gave me a heart attack, young lady.
Sorry.
Who is this?
Dr. Hellborn, this is Samantha Everett, Dr. Styles' new assistant. Sam, this is Dr. Hellborn.
Assistant? Really?
Yeah, and who are you?
Well, I'll leave you two to get acquainted. I've got work to do. If that had been himself, my goose would have been cooked. Should never have let you talk me into it. Honestly.
I ask again, who are you?
I could have sworn Mrs. Dalton answered that. My name is Simon Hellborn. I'm an old friend of David's. Sounds like you and I have a few things to talk about, Sam.
You put a piece of paper in your pocket as you came out of the lab. Find something interesting in there?
Nothing I'm at liberty to discuss.
So what's behind the door?
The door?
That door.
David's private lab.
And you were in there because?
I can see why you get on with him. I'm looking out for a friend, Sam. Speaking of which, have you noticed David acting unusual lately?
You mean he has behavior that isn't unusual? Are you David's doctor?
No. I offered, but he doesn't want to be treated.
But there's nothing wrong with him, right? Other than the fact that he must have loved his wife very much.
I'd like to show you something. Come here. Sit down on that stool there.
Why?
A brief demonstration. Very good. Now put your hands under the table on your lap. Watch the tabletop.
You're doing the exact same motions on my hand as you're doing on the tabletop.
Just watch.
Ow!
What did you feel?
Nothing, but I just had the impression you were going to smash my hand.
That's the power of association. Because you saw the counter being tapped and stroked, and you felt the identical sensations on your hand, your brain began to link the counter and your hand. We can become associated with anything, an object, a place, or another person. When you become deeply associated with someone and they die, in a way, your brain is saying, this person is dead. I am this person, so I must be dead too.
And David was that connected with Laura.
David adored Laura. But in his case, the association is compounded by guilt.
Does David feel guilty because he was driving the car the night of the accident?
No. David was thrown from the car. He was perfectly fine. That can be very hard to accept.
Oh, God. He got burnt trying to save Laura?
Do you know that when a fire burns like that, a petrol fire, it's so hot that just getting within 3 feet of it can be like holding your hand in a flame. No sane person can make themselves walk into a fire like that.
But he did, right?
He did everything humanly possible, but to David it will never be enough.
What do you mean by David acting unusual?
For instance, talking to someone who isn't there or seeing things.
David isn't crazy.
No, but he doesn't sleep much, and sleep deprivation can cause hallucinations.
If you're talking about the things happening on campus, they're really happening. I've investigated them myself.
On campus? What things?
What things are you talking about?
I really can't discuss that with you. Confidentiality. So there's nothing you want to tell me?
No, I shouldn't reveal what I've learned as David's assistant.
Very well. Goodbye, Sam.
Sorry, I was going to see you out.
No need. I know the house well. Thank you.
With any luck, Dr. Hellborn won't notice that the paper he put in his pocket is missing until he's back at his office. Let's see what it says. Oh my God! David's been seeing Laura in the house, but he's not hallucinating. I saw Laura on the stairs myself. This is worse than I thought. They're doing things in the house too, and making him think it's Laura. That's just sick. I have to find out what's going on. I need to look around Dread Hill House and see if I can find any clues about how these Laura appearances are being done. And by whom? Dr. Stiles?
Yes?
Angela started Oxford in September 2002, but she seems pretty immature for her age. Her room is very pink.
Pink.
She doesn't have many friends, according to her roommate, and her father died in a accident. I get the feeling she's a little backwards. Do you want my opinion?
No.
Okay. I looked into Helena's background. She started Oxford this year, but she could have been around long before that. I found a theater program in her room dated October 2002.
October?
Yeah. Also, I think she may have a drug problem. I found a syringe and bottles in her room.
Could there have been a prescription? Maybe a suppressant or...
She's young and healthy. Why would she need a prescription? She's obviously rich and a party girl.
So because she's rich, she must be completely lacking in judgment.
Never mind. Fact, she had a bottle and syringe in her room. I'll leave my opinion out of it.
Good idea.
This is where the ghost disappeared. I should look around to see if there's some mechanism hidden around here. I guess none of these rooms have been used since the clinic closed. No wires. Nothing. Nothing. Looks like a monk, or Quasimodo post-surgery. There's nothing rigged to these chairs. I don't see anything suspicious. Well, if someone's been rigging the house, they've done a good job of cleaning it out again. Is that mine?
None other. Is there a fire this morning?
Some people don't eat when they're upset.
Upset? About what?
Just stressed about classes.
Well, this might cheer you up. The repair shop dropped off your bike this morning. It's out by the garage and running fine.
Really?
Yes, really. You won't mention this morning's activity to himself, I trust?
What morning's activity?
Thank you.
That was the best. Thank you.
Pleasure, Sam.
I need to look around Dread Hill House and see if I can find any clues about how these Laura appearances are being done. Dr. Hellborn showed me the list of Laura's appearances, like the time I saw someone at the top of the stairs.
Well, he shouldn't have. It's Dr. Styles' private business and no one else's. I should never have let him into that room.
But David needs our help.
What he needs is peace and quiet and not to be upset. He'd be fine if people would just leave him be.
But that's the point. Someone is doing these things to David. Someone is faking Laura's presence.
Who would do such a thing? And how could they pretend to be his poor dead wife back from the grave?
It's tricky, all right. But obviously not impossible.
No one is doing this. The best thing we can all do is just not acknowledge it. Leave the poor man alone. Don't bring it up, please, Samantha.
I'm not going to talk to him about it. Not yet, anyway. But David is stronger than you give him credit for, you know. There's such a thing as expecting too much of someone, but there's also such a thing as expecting too little. That's not good for him either.
You don't know what it was like after the accident. You weren't here when they brought him home to this house for the first time with Laura gone. You weren't here to listen to him.
He must have been in a lot of pain, with all the burns.
There, you see? You don't know anything about it.
It's for me. Weird. Who knows I'm here? There's no address on this invitation or on the matchbook I have from the club. I need to figure out where I'm going tonight, assuming I can go.